El viaje que capturó mi corazón. This is a story of my second trip to Rancho Viejo, Mexico, and how it captured my heart once again. Every other year, my church, Alger Park Christian Reformed, takes the high school youth group, Deep Waters, on a missions trip to Rancho Viejo, Mexico. We spend our spring break living with a host family and helping them build churches and other buildings. I made my first trip to Mexico with my youth group spring break of 2007. I thoroughly enjoyed the country, giving help to those who needed it, and most of all, the people I met there. So when it was announced that we would be heading back down to Mexico for spring break 2009, I jumped on board for my second missions trip to Mexico. Upon arriving at the Cancun airport after almost a 5-hour delay in Mexico City, taxi buses zipped us to a small hotel resort that rests on the beach. Maria, the owner, always hosts the youth groups that come with Idea Ministries to work in Rancho Viejo. That Saturday, our whole group took a trip to a nearby island, EDUHjl, for the day. While there, we spent the day shopping for souvenirs at street shops, sunbathing on the beach, and ending the day trip eating chips, salsa, and guacamole at Jack's Bar and Grill. That Sunday morning was the morning we packed up and hit the road for the churches we would be working at. I was in the group going to Betania Church. Upon reaching the church, they welcomed us with open arms, and we sat through our first Mexican service of the week, all of which were completely in Spanish. After the service, we were served a huge dinner of soup and chicken, and then assigned our family for the week. My friend Becky and I were partnered with Martha, a sweet little Mexican woman with a huge heart, but who spoke very little English. This provided interesting opportunities throughout the week. She and her son walked us through the streets of Rancho Viejo to their home about 15 minutes away. Their home was a small cement building with a large gate with a padlock where the front door should be, and no windows in the window frames. Our room, as seen here, consisted of a bed and a couple of hooks for our hammocks. It was nothing like we have here in the United States. Our bathroom held a toilet without a tank and a bucket and a hose for our shower. The bucket shower was a new experience for me because the last family I stayed with had had an actual shower. Therefore, I had my first bucket shower later that night. It was an interesting experience for me. Throughout that next week, we traveled between our Mama Martha's house and the church. She took care of us like we were her own daughters. Her generosity in the face of all this poverty astounded us. As you can see, they didn't have much. Our work at the church that week consisted mostly of hand mixing cement for the ceiling support beams for the second floor of the church. This involved filling buckets with both sand and gravel, hauling them up the stairs, mixing the ingredients with water, and pouring that cement into the beam molds. It was hard work, but very rewarding and very fun. We got to meet a lot of the workers and people from the church. We also painted the church's new iron window frames with the help of Betania's own pastor. This work, due to the limited budget and supplies of the church, lasted us until Friday, when we departed from our beloved Mexican families. But we did not only work that week, we also bonded with our Mexican hosts. The kids were especially fun and absolutely adorable, and probably one of the hardest parts about leaving. We also came to love our mamas, who cooked us breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day we were with them. I know for Becky and I, our mama will forever be in our hearts, for buying us sweet rolls on the way home, for taking us on a crazy taxi drive to Dolphin Beach at night, and calling us her beautiful American daughters. Thus, leaving Betania was very difficult. After leaving Betania, we rejoined with the Sinai group for a last relaxing weekend. That weekend, we revisited Isla Mujeres and spent the day at an all-inclusive resort called Garifan. It was a full day of sun, water, and food, along with activities such as a zip line, snorkeling, and a tour of the very tip of this gorgeous island. The next day, upon returning to the mainland, we visited Mercado 28 and spent the day perusing authentic Mexican shops and having items very excitedly thrust upon us. That Sunday, we flew out for Michigan and returned home Monday, April 13th, thus ending the trip that successfully captured my heart forever.